The meaning of knowledge, if this knowledge dawns on you, is going to change quite a lot, I feel. You will have reached the zenith of knowledge, knowing what you're not. Yeah. I don't, uh, isn't life in a lot of ways, it looks like a race, yeah? And every race leads to another race. But some races end. Yeah, I feel that in non-duality. I've never been as sufficiently stopped as I have been with the message of non-duality. When I was stopped with the addiction, that was sort of different because that was like a manufactured thing that had picked up a lot of speed and looked like there was an inevitable crash going to occur. So I tried to avoid it at all costs, which made it worse, obviously. This case, that thing of I want to know and that drive of why has completely been shut down, which is incredible, really cool. Uh, in other words, a lot of functions that I thought were essential were shut down, and like a real stroke of efficiency. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff that just because of its familiarity seemed to be essential just got dropped. It's pretty cool in a lot of ways, and stayed drop, which is incredible. Yeah, it's sort of like it would be almost as if you realize your skin was meant to molt, and you wouldn't be trying to re-glue it on. Yeah, you would see you would see what would be like a huge threat to the mental state as really a hallelujah. Yeah. The first few, like moltings, may scare you, but then it doesn't after that. Yeah. Or whoever that gets scared. Yeah. You become accustomed to it, that most stuff uh, dissipates of its own, on its own. Yeah. Some amazing thing shows up and it just goes down the amazing channel and stuff. And just, it's really, it's like traveling lighter. Not because you packed well. Yeah, not that traveling lighter. You just discarded a lot of stuff. Now, I like stuff. I don't discard things, but I discarded a lot of non-things, let's say. If you want to call an idea a thing or whatever, maybe it's a thing. And I didn't discard it. It just fell off, sloughed off. It's just like how many times I wanted to stop drinking or using mostly. And it was like pissing in the wind. It was just gonna, but and all the vows of, I'm not gonna read another spiritual book, or I'm only gonna watch 10 hours of video a day than 12 hours or something. Yeah. I'm sitting here and I have six videos going on. Muji, Ajashanti, something like that. Wait, one of them's gonna catch me somehow. I'm gonna hear what I really need to hear if I have them playing all at once. Uh, I mean, literally, it's mind-boggling because next to drug addiction, spiritual addiction was up there. Yeah, spiritual seeking, and it was funny. I got struck sober, and then again, I got sort of struck sober concerning spirituality. Yeah, one of the vehicles was recovery to stay struck sober, and one of the vehicles is a non-dual understanding. In the other, what I was struck by. Yeah. Uh, and really, it's an incredible demonstration of efficiency getting super efficient because there's no steps at all in non-duality. Yeah. There's no there's no suggestions. There's nothing, literally. Yeah. Uh, the head and the interest that follows it. Yeah. The head doesn't stop in its tracks, but the interest that used to follow it stops in its tracks now. Yeah. And the funny thing is, what what you're truly looking for isn't a moving object constantly looking. Yeah. So what you're looking for isn't an object at all, but let's use it just as I'm illustrating something. So we were a moving object, weren't we? We were moved to do this and do that, drugs, spirituality, whatever, constantly seeking, 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 finding in some respects, but then very small a reprieve from the seeking and then seeking again. Yep. And to have that movement, which was the second strongest movement I've been under in this life. The first was addiction with narcotics, coke and stuff like that, cocaine. But spirituality sort of was right up there, and I made it super important. I mean, the head did, and I thought it was really a noble calling. Yeah, and for something to put that to a stop or an end. So really weird. I've been, let's say, sober concerning spiritual addiction now for about 20 something years. Yeah, maybe more. And I'm sober to physical, drug addiction and alcoholism 37 years. Yeah. And just like I don't have any interest in drink, and this isn't me, I'm just describing the apparatus, the event. The, one of the wildest parts of getting struck sober is I lost interest in drinking and drugs. Yeah. I lost interest in the story of drinking and drugs too a lot. I just lost interest in it, which I never thought I I hope that I could be restrained, maybe through an institution to keep me away from it, but to lose interest in it and really the thoughts about it and the feelings that were generated was really it wasn't like I lost interest in drugs and alcohol. I lost interest in the thoughts concerning the drugs and alcohol. Yeah. Lost interest in that movement. And then the coup d'etat was really what replaced that was seeking transcendence through practice, like meditation, yes, uh, dieting, whatever. And then that was put an end to, which is amazing. Really is. Really amazing. Uh, it does, days just slough off, don't they really? I mean, what Tuesday in your life do you really remember? What Tuesday? Any random Tuesday? Let's say a Tuesday 2012. Random. It really doesn't hold much water, does it? Really, basically anything. You're here now, uh, and that has nothing to do with you and me. Yeah, we're here now. We find ourselves here now. Yeah, yeah. And finding yourself there after a while, no matter how much we thought it was different or we tried to forget what it was, really there is only here now. Yeah. That everything we've ever entertained has been encompassed in here now. Every thought about yesterday wasn't yesterday. Yeah. It was here now. Yeah. Every feeling about some slight 40 years ago is here now. Yeah. We basically we don't let anything die in time. The head doesn't. It constantly resurrects it, brings it back to life. through thought and, reminiscence and memory and stuff. And what I see that brought about relief was losing interest in the center of it all. I believe self-centeredness is a system, which the system of taking in info, reacting, perceiving, all this is centered on self. Yeah. And when a lot of things made you uncomfortable or this and that, they were really offshoots of the discomfort of a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. Yeah. So, and then after you try to make it better for self or change your whole life or to fit around it, then there was a moment where you heard you may not be it. Yeah. Now, I hope that idea was like a duck that just took to the water and you just went with it. But you recognize the possibility I may not be that. And then all that was seemingly setting up a huge struggle, like the thriller in Manila, a fighting out of the other thing, was all canceled. It was a revolution that never was televised. Yeah, it was just a loss of interest and oh, and a lot of stuff that seemed to be really important dried up. Yeah, yeah. Like wanting to know and why and using your intelligence to figure shit out and stuff like that. And you found solace in the relief in not being a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. Yeah. Because I would still be working on this thing if it was me. Yeah. I really would. It would have been like an urban renewal project that would continue, soaking up tons of the budget and trying to, and that was canceled like a while ago. There's no new building going on, no new additions, nothing like that. And the stone is just rolling until it's going to stop rolling. What are you going to do? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Today, it was so beautiful just to sit still out in my living room, hearing the wind. And you know how you really love a storm is when you're not in a storm, obviously. So when you're not in the storm, you can really love a storm. And it's been impressive here today. It has. We have a creek and it's going off across the street and the wind and everything. Even the dog gave up. It couldn't, it realized it wasn't going to go out. Yes. No. It's just been laying down. And hmm, yeah, I'm waxing poetically. Yes, I'm just attempting to the ordinariness is a beautiful piece of work, actually. Ordinariness. Yeah. Can you imagine if you would have to get into the moment? Yeah. Wow. But realizing you can't be out of the moment is such a getting into the moment and realizing you can't be out of the moment looks completely different. Completely different, even though the moment is in there. Trying to get into it looks completely different than having a realization you can't be out of it. It really does. And there's so much effort put into getting into it. Yeah. And there's no effort put into not being out of it. Yeah. None at all. No effort whatsoever. Yeah. Maybe the the correction took was bumpy for a little while, and some habits had grown into getting into the moment that you there was meaning given. But basically, whatever work was entailed, it was early and it's over. Yeah. But getting into the moment always had the default mechanism that you could be out of the moment. Not getting out of anything, uh, realizing you can't be out of it doesn't have that mechanism. Yeah. Because the fact is, you're in a moment. That's it. Yeah. The fact wasn't you were out of a moment and then you want to make a new fact of being in the moment. The fact has always been there's moment. This is not there's not a you in it, but there's moment. And there's never been a fact of a possibility you or I or anything could be out of the moment. Yeah. So that boomerang effect doesn't work when you realize the fact of things. Yes. When you realize the fact that you were never in something that you've been trying to get out of your whole life, what a fucking relief. Yeah. What a relief, man. Mm. So be very clear. You can't get out of you can't get out of what you're not in, and you can't get into what you're not out of. Yeah. Why not just sit and see what that is? Can you be out of the moment? Can you get out of self? Doesn't seem like you can. And I humbly believe is because you're not in self. So all the attempts to get out of what you think you are is a reinforcement of what you think you are. Yeah. Not a plan that's finally going to work the 800th time you've done it. You just changed vehicles, but the same plan is to get out of self has never freaking worked. You've had periods, usually for me, accompanied by blue uniform people, and then black robe people, and then if I was lucky, white robe people at the hospital. Yeah. So it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful message, non-duality. The most simplest, and it just keeps breaking down into simplicity more and more. Yeah. It just decreases more and more without doing anything. To that point where we boiled down the whole world of Zen bitch slap. I used to riff on a lot of shit a lot of times. Somebody I ran into in Europe this year had exact how many hours of YouTubes we have, like 27,000 hours or something. And that was just half of what was happened. We were doing stuff way, 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 way. Now I'm down to this one page. That's it. Yeah. I'm down to this one page, and it's not even it's a page in a very small book. Yeah, that's it. I can carry my whole how everything has boiled down to. This is it. I could fold it up, yeah, and put it in my shoe, and I wouldn't feel it. And this is this simple. If you hold anyone in spirituality to a high standard, I would say many people give that standard to Ramana Maharshi. And wouldn't the great explorers of spirit would be the ones who had the key to all the mysteries of life? Yeah, it goes. It's not like a far-fetched idea. If you wanted to have some mysteries dispelled or understood, you would hope to hear it from at the feet of one of these people, man or woman or animal, whatever. Yes? Yes. So when someone and everyone who wrote about his teachings says the same thing, all around this man's what he left, the invitation, which is there is no greater mystery than this, that being the reality ourselves, we seek to gain reality. Now we can point out 800,000 aberrations of that, but that's the first algorithm right there. Yeah, just there. Being ourselves reality does not sound like it's something you're going to acquire, nor something that you can lose. Yes? Being ourselves. It didn't say having ourselves reality. Yeah? Acquiring ourselves reality. buying ourselves reality. It says being. So reality is not something we're going to get. It is what we are, being ourselves reality. There's no mincing of words there, is there? It's quite simple. It's a present tense description of a great solver of many mysteries. Yeah, a very, very direct, succinct statement of the condition that we seem to be in and the condition we really are in. The condition that we seem to be in is we're seeking for reality. Yeah. The condition we're really in is being reality ourselves. Therefore, the seeking for reality is the greatest mystery. Yeah. Why? Because we are being reality ourselves. Wow. Do you need 8,000 comments on that? No. It stops the whole. Yeah. And he goes here. Of course, we think. Yes. You could just say that. We think. And then everyone could feel like what it feels like to be looking for reality as reality. It's all usually preceded by thought. Yes. We think. You are not the thinker. The thoughts are not yours. And truly, the thoughts are not about you. They're about a thought about you, but they're not you. You cannot be thought about what you are. You cannot be experienced. You cannot be understood. You cannot be comprehended. So we think what? That there is something binding our reality. Yeah. And that it must be destroyed. Let's call it the ego or whatever. Yes. The shadow, the badness, that's the shadow of the goodness or whatever. Yes. We make up tons of stuff, don't we? Literally, societally, yes. We make movies about it. We make movies about the light and the dark, fighting it out. Yes. Uh, that it must be destroyed. Yes, must be. Or what? If you can't seem to destroy it, you have now given it a huge amount of power to block you off from the reality of being in reality ourselves. Really? Yeah. We're giving it so much power that it has to be destroyed, that if it continues, it actually has us convinced that it can block us off from the sunlight of the spirit. Yeah. If you are the sunlight of the spirit, how could fucking anything block you off from the sunlight of the spirit? I'd like you to explain that to me. How could something block you off from your own nature? Being ourselves reality. Let's call it one way of describing it. The spirit of, the light of the spirit. Yeah. That would be, another way of saying being ourselves reality. Yeah. And then he goes, before that, so it must be, so this thing, let's say ego or something, we have given so much meaning to this stuff that something can get between what we are and what we are. Yeah. And here, that it must be destroyed before that reality is gained. Yes. Yeah. So as long as something that's mechanical keeps popping up, and you're acting as if you can shut it off. And if your attempts to shut it off does not work, you are now bound by it and it is blocking you off from the reality. Yes. So what happens when you have a huge, great peak experience and then you're mad at the newspaper boy the next day by missing your porch with the paper? Yeah. You immediately disqualify yourself. I thought that was destroyed. And now I had gained reality, and then a mechanical activity that you've taken to be a demonstration of you throws you out of the mix again. You're disqualified. Now you have to wrestle. You got to go another round with that which is binding reality from you. That reality's gain. Uh, it is ridiculous. Wow. I didn't ever heard him say when I have ever read stuff he said, like when you see little videos of Ramana Maharshi, I never hear the translator saying it's ridiculous. I mean, wow. I don't think he used that word that much. Must mean something, yeah. It is ridiculous. A day will dawn when we will ourselves laugh at our own efforts. That which is on the day of laughter is also now. Uh, it's funny right now, and humbly, I've been at this seemingly for a long time. It has boiled down to this page right here. This is it. Eh, eh. Second page, I think, accompanies the first page pretty well. It is false to speak of realization. You ever read Ramana when he talks about the lady with the necklace? And he says, that which you're trying to realize is always realized. What? So for you to have the experience of realizing it, you'd have to make it different than its nature, which is always realized. Yes? Do you see? For you to realize something, it can't be always realized. It is false to speak of realization. What is there to realize? What is there to realize? The real is as it is always. How to realize it? How to realize the real, the R, big R? How to realize it? Oh, okay. All that is required is this. We have realized the unreal. It's also could be noticed, it can be called negation. Yes, yes. So we're assuming that we are reality now, and from there, we're going to negate the unreality that has been taken to be real. Yes. And you don't have to go through every unreal aspect of that which was appearing real. All you need to look at is you. It's one of the easiest things in the world. You don't have to say, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this, I'm not netty, 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 netty. No, all you have to do is see that you are not real as you are composed now. Yes? Woo! And that unreality is now given to everything else, which giving it to everything else does not prove that unreality. But seeing this unreality, it's given to everything else. Yes? Because you and I are giving everything all the meaning it has. You and I are giving the meaning of things to be real from an unreal perspective. We are now going to see the truth of that unreal perspective because, and that's going to trigger what we actually are, is the seeing of what we're not. And there you go. Yes. And more realizations come, not about what's always realized, but the realizations of how unreal things are. Yeah. And then let the molting continue. Yes. Do you believe time is of this place, or do you believe there's time? Do you believe when you dream at night, if you dream a dream or you're in a dream that's like a 300 year opus, a huge epic, yeah? And then you wake up in the morning, and the day after you dream of a 5-second drink of a Slurpee, how long did it take to wake up from both dreams? Did the 300-year dream demand more waking up time? No, because when there's the waking up, the time that seems so influential in the dreaming is seen as not real. Yes? Hmm. Have you noticed when you're driving really fast, the time doesn't go fast? If you're on the Autobahn and you're going 120 miles per hour, time is still ticking slowly. You would think you're moving so fast that time would, but it doesn't, does it? Sometimes you're going 60 miles per hour, but only 4 minutes have passed or something. It's insane. Yes? You're moving super fast. Why isn't time moving super fast? Whatever. I'm happy to be here. Yeah. It's going to be a slow change in the decor because I don't have a back. There's going the rooms, the walls are going to get more rubbery, so to speak, and I'm going to start wearing the same white thing every day, the straight jacket. And then if I instead of there may be a cat still, but there'll be like jello things here on the table, and we'll be speaking with each other from the asylum. Yeah. And the weirdest thing is, it may be the most sane thing you hear today. uh, Nothing could stop something, yet something stopped it. Yeah. Wow. I bet you Mike or other people here. Did you truly ever believe your seeking was going to stop?
I didn't, Paul.
No,
I thought something else was going to happen.
that's right.
I thought a bigger thing was going to happen.
Yeah, that
I
the
never,
seeking.
it never occurred to me that something would actually stop happening. It was always like, oh, I think this is going to be a big deal. And it's going to be so cool because I'll be there to see it happen, right?
That's right.
That's what I thought. I thought it was like, this is like a stair step, you know? Have an experience and another experience and another experience. And then you have like the ultimate experience and, the awakening experience. And then there's this bliss and whatever heaven on the other side of that. And while you're talking now, I was just thinking about that what I'm experiencing these days, or I don't even, it's not even fair to say that. It's whatever is in front of me these days is it's characterized more by what's not happening than what is happening. And
Yes.
it's like the things that have sloughed off, basically. And not that I did anything, not that I tried to do anything. I tried to do something at the beginning and realized, oh, that's not going to work either. Trying is the problem. Trying, you know. And what I was really looking for was nothing more than the end of seeking. Really, just end of the torture,
Yeah.
the end of the longing.
Yes.
Yeah. So that becomes a lot of simpler equation. And the biggest thing that's lifted, to me, the biggest thing that's gone away is guilt. The guilt that I didn't even know was there.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
It was just like having a weight on my, like they have those. Who is it that has the weighted blankets or they have the weighted clothing and
Oh, yeah.
I forget what their symptoms are, but they have other symptoms besides that.
Themselves.
But
Yes.
yeah, but they don't even know that after a while they don't even know they have them anymore because they've been wearing it their whole life. But boy, you can tell when it's not there.
Yes. Well, you know what really is what's happening is not happening, and what we think is not happening is happening. Really. It just there needs to be a correction. And the correction, when applied, there was no need for a correction. Yes?
No,
Until it's applied, there's a need for a correction. But when the correction is applied, there was no need for a correction. Yeah. Because none of this ever really came to pass. It's just been a dreaming and a dreaming and a dreaming, so to speak. Yeah.
yeah,
Our
but you're but yeah,
our our arising out of the dreaming is another dreaming. Yes, yes.
But you're right that that realization that, oh, that's not me, leads to that's not anything, leads to all the other stuff around
That's
disappearing
right.
as well.
And then you don't look at the other things as guilty either. They haven't failed you or they just
No,
blah blah blah. Yes,
they're
yes.
just neutral.
It's like the prodigal son story, the way I remember it, had a lot in there where that guy had a real belief in his take on things and he thought he really fucked up and left his family and he was just, rolling around a bottom we call a bottom in addiction, and he ended up in a pigsty. Yeah, and he was fighting the pigs for a cob of corn or something, and then suddenly it hit him. You know, this whole story of that he had separated from the Godhead and he should be punished for all that was all in his own make imaginings. Something was playing God with him. And he came to it and he suddenly there's no story from that point. It goes right to he's on the road meeting his father who gives him a new robe, puts a ring on him and says, "We got a great feast ready." Yeah. There's no story of him rehabbing to get to that point. It's like something dawns on him in the pigsty and he's right on the road of life and there's his father immediately, no time involved, giving him this and that and taking him to the feast. Yes. It's amazing, eh? It wasn't like 4 pages of what he had to do and no, it was just he stopped relying on the mind finally. That dropped, and there it was. Yes. Now, most of us are trying to rely on the mind to get to that place, but it's the relying on the mind that's making it a place to get to. It is, yeah. And I don't know what it will take, but I feel those people that know how to blow up buildings and the demolition so it falls? You can sort of see this. If the house of cards, you can see one of the cards is holding the whole fucking thing up, really. And it has your picture on it. If that card gets pulled out, the whole thing, you don't have to go through each card. That's the card. Yeah, you lose interest in that yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, looking at it now, it feels like the one thing that started the demolition was the idea that just because a thought appears, it doesn't have to be my thought.
Yes, for
It's
sure.
not my thought. And once that I could allow for that possibility, then that's the beginning of every floor in the building starting to shake. In my building, starting
Yes.
starting to shake, and
Yes.
and then the rest of it just sort of has been happening without any input from me. So there's input when we're sitting here like this, but
Yes.
it's not from me
Well,
or
with
to
that,
me.
Mike, with that, see, all those things are preceded by the my. So when the my weakens, everything that comes after it sooner or later falls, so to speak. Yeah. Because what's holding up the meaning of the thing that comes after it is the my. Yeah. So you find it in one area. Like obviously, we don't cross the line and think we're digesting the food in the body. Yes, I'm not sitting here. I have a list of what I ate this week and what day I need to have it digested. Yes, but there's this outlandish idea that we're the thinker of a much more subtler process called thinking. Literally mind-boggling. And then when I had it easy because I was introduced to a group, a community of in addiction that a lot of people who suffered from the same dilemma sat and shared about it. And it sure sounded like there was one serial killer in the whole bunch, and we were all uh, casualties from it. And I said, how do these people get my thoughts, or they're not my thoughts? And once that you took that thumb out of the dam and some water came out, there was the dam was going to come down. Yes, yes. Because, yeah, because really, a lot of the knowledge is just held back with this little idea that it's yours. Yeah. And then, yeah. So the my, you, in the beginning when we were doing this, we emphasized the my quite a lot, especially in recovery, because the my is really the killer, and the thoughts and the actions are the vehicle of the murder, but it's not the murder, it's the my. Yeah. Yes. Wow. So great. Well, thank you. Anyone else? Any questions or shares or whatever?
Yeah, Paul, Eric has his hand up. Hey,
Yeah,
Eric.
Eric.
Hey,
Hey.
kind of along those lines, I've been, I don't know how to say it, but kind of appreciating the sort of the impossibility of just the. I mean, I'll be sitting and just my mind is blown just by experiencing experience, like just looking at the a beautiful view in the garden or anything. I mean, it doesn't matter, and it's but and a thought comes in to try to capture that or describe it, and it's so completely it's like trying to put a little picture of the ocean on your wall and saying, oh, that's the ocean, isn't it wonderful? And it struck me that it's kind of like spirituality in that there's a uh, it's like an add-on in a sense. In other words, there's just raw experience. There's no way to describe it. There's no way I can even share it. uh, but people are trying to have an experience somehow, and it's a like you're saying, it's like an add-on.
Well, in the realm of experience, there's ways to trigger experiences. But if the experience is a misunderstanding of a prior condition, uh, you're not going to trigger an experience of that. Yes. So our nature isn't an experience that something else has. Our nature is being ourselves reality, which is completely incomprehensible, cannot be understood, and cannot be experienced. It's reality that experiences everything, but it can't be experienced. Yeah. So I think because, when the hammer sees everything, it sees it as a nail. I believe humans have made a god in their own image, yeah? And the head has made something called spirituality, and it's like a weird mimicking of the fact that we are what we're looking for. Yeah. And then it turns into this weird thing that's going to be about a lot of people in the hunt for spiritual experience. The biggest thing, it's like if you were trying to code some internet stuff, you run into this big problem, and the big problem is it doesn't stabilize. Yeah. So they go to a retreat and they have an experience, but they want it to stabilize, which is you get that doesn't work. Experience really don't stabilize.
Yeah,
So
that's
there,
kind of what I was trying to say. It's like you can't, there's by nature, how do you grab nature? It's like I don't know how to say it. It's impossible.
yes. So that's great news, because again, like Mike was saying, in spirituality, there sometimes is an underlying guilt, like they would talk about in the Course in Miracles, that there's a guilt of the mental activity, which is that it's believing it left the Godhead. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, like it split, and in its little finite logic, it cannot find solace in that. Yeah. So it's like trying to make up. it's like I saw this with myself when I was younger. I had no idea of like Eastern meditation and stuff. But as soon as I met Eastern meditation, tons of ideas downloaded about what it would be like, what they're like. And I got involved with a guru. He was very young at the time, 11 years old. And he came from a guru family in India, and he was given the franchise. Like the father jumped over the older brothers and gave it to him. And he, I think, was as surprised as anyone. He's only 11 years old. And so I was introduced to a meditation technique, which was really cool. And then about 6 months later, he came over from India as the guru. And then it kicked into he's the Lord of the universe and everything. And I was there. I liked the meditation. It was helping me and everything. But I didn't really like the Lord of the universe. And in my head, not liking the Lord of the universe is a no-no. Yes. I should not liking the Lord of the universe, no bueno. That's not good. And then I got caught in the Clash song, Should I Stay or Should I Go, for like 6 years. I wanted to leave, but I wouldn't leave because who would leave, of course, the Lord of the universe, yes? And it was a lot of playing upon this imagined guilt, really. Yes? Yeah. So, uh, oh, I think if you see the mechanicalness of the system, it brings a lot of relief to that. Yes? Because people feel like they're doing a lot of stuff, subtle or crude, yes, that they're not doing. Yes. Let's not say they're not doing any of it, but there's a lot of stuff that could be easily seen as you're not doing it. Yes? Yeah. And then that's uh you have to remember the Lord of the universe. And the only way I could get relief was getting high. The only way I could get out of spiritual responsibility was being bad. So I got loaded again. That's what happened, literally. I started doing drugs again, and then I got run over by the car a couple of weeks later. And then all the people from the group said he got run over because he left the Lord of the universe. It
Oh
makes
man.
fucking sense. And then I was not only my body was broken, I had guilt laying in the hospital bed. uh, yeah. Uh, It's a simple invitation. You can receive it thousands of times. It never gets old. Yes? This invitation never gets old. All the food being served is always warm, hot, tasting. Yes? Never gets old. And it put an end to a lot of stuff that wasn't essential, that I couldn't put an end to. And my following it to another place, having that seeking end somewhere there, wasn't noticing the real drive. The seeking was being used to reinforce the idea of the seeker, yeah, not that which was sought. The seeking wasn't bringing the sought any clearer. It was reinforcing the seeker. Yeah, yes. So when I lost a little bit of interest in the seeker, the seeking stopped, and then the emperor had no clothes. Yes. And then every time I would meet the emperor when it was wearing a lot of clothes, I still knew it had no clothes, which is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyone else?
No hands, Paul.
No hands.
No hands.
Hmm.
Oh, Travis just popped up. Hey, Travis.
Hey, what's the role of letting go? 'Cause it seems like we can't really let go because or take an active role in it.
Uh,
But it seems like letting go is kind of all that's required
not
for
really. You see, you're not holding on, actually, I think is quicker. Yeah. What comes usually before the letting go is a holding on. Yeah, obviously. So when you see you're not that which is holding on, uh, because the letting go has been claimed quite a lot. In most programmed movements, letting go is very important, yes? But very rarely is there a questioning of who the hell's holding on to begin with, yeah? I don't believe there's someone holding on, and therefore I don't believe there's someone that's going to let go. I just think it's faster that way. Yeah, yeah. Because the thing, what you're trying to get out of letting go is to make that which is holding on better. You still want that which is holding on to be there when there's a letting go. I'm the one who's letting go, but I was once the one who was holding on. Just, uh, I don't know. But yes, that's how I look at it. Letting go is very important to that which is holding on. But I think that which is holding on, if it is that which is letting go, is going to hold on once again. And there's going to be a lot of letting go in one's life. Yeah, yeah. Yep, that's how I see it. Did I lose you, Travis? You there?
Yeah.
It's just like the idea people love to go into incarnation, reincarnation. I don't believe there's incarnation. I don't. Yeah. I don't believe we're a person, a long-lasting, independent, separate thing. And therefore, I'm not interested in when I'm going to be another person. So I don't care about the string of reincarnations because I don't believe in incarnation. I don't. Yeah. I do not believe there's going to be a you after this you is over. I don't. I don't believe you're going to be uh I don't believe you've ever been a thing. But yeah. Yeah, so yeah. So holding on, letting go, being out of the moment, being in the moment, they're like a seesaw that rests on an axle of you, yes? So letting go would be better, holding on, and it's on, and so the same. And after you've been on that ride for a while, suspicion should arise. Yeah, yeah, I would say. I mean, I've met masters of letting go, and they're still holding on. So, I mean, I don't. Yeah. Yeah. But that's just from the asylum. I don't know. I'm just, yeah, yeah. Mm. There's businesses that are based on letting go, really. Do they really want to come to the crux of what's holding on? Probably not, because they're a business of letting go. So for that business to have value, there's got to be holding on. Uh, but in moments, yes, letting go. Symbolic rituals, surrender, letting go, yes. Yeah. I think you can make this an art show, an expression. Yeah. So I've been holding on forever and now I'm going to let go. Yeah. And sometimes it's quite moving, really. Yeah. I better stop and get myself into more trouble. Yes. Yeah.
That was helpful.
I was gonna have you sign that book of reincarnations, but now I'm not gonna spring it to you, Paul, this spring. No. You've just upset me greatly. Yes. I like you, bro. Come back, come over. Yeah. Stoke that fire. Let it cook what can be cooked and what left behind. Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
You're
I like you
welcome.
too.
I'm very excited about people. Uh, uh, it's like you're looking out the same window. Uh, oh, it's just the tiniest emphasis shift. And then you see everything differently. Just the tiniest emphasis shift. And it can be triggered in satsang by things. Yeah. And you're sitting there and suddenly that thing that you thought was like this goes just a little bit moves, and then you see there's a seeing anew that's quite refreshing. It gives you like a whole splash. You know those things people spray like a spritzer? It's like getting sprayed a spritzer. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I just had this weird thing here at the house. This is really base. So we have two TVs in the house. We have one in the bedroom where I am now, and we're one in the living room. And we've had people over. We get people over a lot. And so let's say I have Amazon on this TV, it's not on the other TV. Yeah. So every time people come over and they want to watch something, I said, well, don't have it. Yeah. But then it finally dawned on me, I can move this very light TV out of the bedroom into the living room. It was like a revelatory event. I can bring it out so we could watch Inland Empire by what's his name? David Lynch. Uh, I don't recommend it. It's a pretty weird movie. I go with Mulholland Drive, but we put it out there, and then problem solved. It was only a little bit of lifting. But that was like something was like uh, grinding, and then suddenly something entered it, and it saw something anew. Hey, I can just move the TV out, and then we can watch Amazon in the living room. Hallelujah. It's these little things demonstrate something. Yes. It's emphasis. When there's a sufficient enough loss of interest in this preoccupation, there's going to be a change in how you see things, especially how you see you. Yeah, it is. And so it's just like rolling the die, rolling two things with, and just keep rolling them like a roulette table. Yeah. And then it hits, and then it's the right color and the right number, and boom, something opens up. Yeah. And when something opens up, it's always been that way. It was not like it wasn't there. It's always been here. We were just entertaining something with ardor and interest. And now that we've lost interest in it, we see the obvious. Yeah. So
That's what I like about your satsangs, Paul, is it's experiential. I mean, to put a word on it, I mean, I'm kind of contrasting it with where I was going before, where it was so much about, you know,
yeah.
conversations of arcane spiritual or, advice to the seeker. It was all about the seeker and the seeking. Anyway, yeah, it's that tiny, just this little shift, and it's like, wow, this is now.
Yes. Yes. And you're not moving in now. Now is the moving around everything. You're not moving in now. That which is in this now has always been in every now. Yeah. Didn't move to get in, didn't move to get out. It's here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not local. It's nowhere.
No, definitely not local. Yeah. So hey, we're not going to sink the SS and bitch slaps. Not going to sink, no matter how high the water gets. Yes. Yes. Don't worry. All right. Anyone else? Or we're going to say goodbye, I think, today. Oh,
I
we
think
have
it's
David Lowe. Come on in, David Lowe.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's so, I mean, it's like disorienting at first. It's like on one level, these thoughts on stuff like taking away all my practices because I mean the problem is so immediate. You know, 'cause everything that you try to do is like it just doubles back on itself because you know it's just an effort, a futile effort. So I'm left with nothing but just being in a sort of a liminal space, kind of. And the this thing about the not believing it, that's like a whole new level of challenge, not to believe in the incarnation. But it makes sense. I mean, it's part of the whole reality that you create when the selfing happens. And the body's part of it, by golly. So
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
definitely. Yes. Yes. Well, I'm happy, David, for you. Yes,
I'm gonna try like maybe just doing no praxis at all, just to maintain the awareness of the futility of yoga, of chanting, of meditation, of
well, that's a
japa.
practice, trying to maintain the awareness. Just let it roll over you. It's nothing, you don't forget when you think you forgot. Don't worry about it. Yeah. All the shuffling and hasn't changed a thing. It just dances, it just tries to be the dancer. It's in a way. Don't worry about it, bro. Yeah. If you want to do anything, the idea of relaxed awareness is a nice idea.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because see, there is nothing, there's not a panoramic or a myopic, it's a way of seeing. You either see myopically or panoramically.
Right.
When there's a seeing myopically, it can only conceive or make ideas up about the panoramic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
holding on to the myopic has to negate the idea of panoramic. Yeah. But the panoramics, its lens is so open, it includes the myopic. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it doesn't have a great movement to get rid of it or kill it or whatever. There's just an acknowledgement of it, but not an incredible interest dump on it. Yeah. You lose interest in it. Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
It's sort of like you would think you can't have a tiger and a cow grazing in the same area, but fuck, you can. Yeah. It's based on mostly the tiger's disposition, not the cows.
Right.
Yes. And
Right.
so, yeah, they could be laying down and the other one there and fucking nothing's going on. So, so
Wow.
I thought something had to die. That was bogus. Yeah. Nothing has to die. Nothing that was not born doesn't have to die. Yeah. Nothing that was never real doesn't have to be made something. Yeah. It doesn't. There's just a loss of interest in the preoccupation with it. You get so fucking tired of it. Yeah. You know how many people you get tired of? And you know how many of those people are tired of you? And we're like fucking marathon runners of not getting tired about us because it's us. You got to apply. Uh, yeah, nobody in my street right now is thinking of me. Yeah, nobody. They're doing whatever they are. There's nobody. No one's occupied 100 millionth of how much occupation there is here. Yes.
Right. Right. You know, it's the thing about dying while you're alive is one of the standard things that, and conventional mysticism. But that's wow. Maybe that's not maybe that's not the best way to think of it.
I would think dying means forgetting, really, as Saint Francis says. It's in self-forgetting that you're reborn. So if
Right.
a reborn needs a preceding dying, then the dying would be forgetfulness. You,
Okay.
it,
Wow.
it gets killed by irrelevance. You're not taking it to be you or the big blocker of the sunlight of the spirit or whatever it is. You're taking it to be what it is, which is a mental conglomeration of shit. Yes? And that's the real killer blow, really. The killing blow is irrelevance.
Jeez.
And not taking it too seriously.
Well, that's irrelevance, yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look at what happened. I'll just use a Jungian psychological fucking aberration. So here I am as a younger guy, and I would have girlfriends. And there would be a point where I had a belief that no one really loved me. So I would put them to a test without them knowing it. And it was already, they were set to fail no matter what, anyway. And so here they'd go. And then I would play this number on them. And they usually would react. And then this little fucking Sufi of suckness would go on, a little dervish dance of suckness. But it took two to dance, yeah, took two to tango. And then one day, the woman had reached a point where she had lost interest in me. She didn't love me anymore. She wasn't going to put up with any of my shit. And when I attempted to engage her, she would not respond. And I was left with that which I was wanting to project on her. Yeah. It was a fucking that activity was so pissed that I was now irrelevant to her. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Couldn't
Wow.
move her into another argument. I couldn't push her into another episode. And that thing was super fried out. It was super. I saw it, man. I saw the emperor on fire. And I realized what's going to kill it is irrelevance. Not a stake, not a torch, not a burning, not a killing. It's irrelevance. Wow. Yeah.
It's interest.
It
Wow.
was a trip, man. It was a trip. I was so into having the shit start a dance, and when she refused to dance, I was left with that fucking partner, dance partner. Whoa. And then the killing blow was I was irrelevant to her. I couldn't pull the shit on her anymore. And it was a real growing up moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a clue in that, which was irrelevance. Yeah. The death of what we're not is the clarion call of the death of what we're not is irrelevance. Yeah. It's not that which can block off the sunlight of the spirit. It's not that which has to be consoled and taken with us on our journey. It's irrelevant. It's an idea. Yes? Yeah. So lack of interest, I think, is the killing blow. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else or no? We'll go. We'll take off to the next adventure. Today they're gonna let me go down. They're letting me go on into corridor 4 in the asylum. Yeah, check it out.
Ernie has his hand up, or
Oh, all right. You
he
stop.
just put it down.
All right. No, come on. I'm joking.
Well, it's just a quick one, but yeah, thank you. It's have today's satsang. There, it just caught me off guard. There's I've never seen it that way, but when you say like when you try to emphasize the you're trying to emphasize the unreality or something like the ego, then or the unreality, then the ego strives harder and harder. It's like I've never seen it that way. Like But
Yes.
when we realize the unreal the real all of that the unreality, because the ego keeps, once you try to emphasize the guilt and everything or letting go, the more the ego you say, the more the ego more strives to more go better and better. But like the letting go, I remember also Ramesh said the letting go is not in your action to it's the act of letting go is not your action. But that's a different way of seeing. But when you see in a different way where there is no letting go also, there's, or everything that's happening, it's already happened or something like that. There's a seeing that when there's no letting go because it's never happened anyway. But also in a different kind of seeing that the act of letting go is not even you yourself. It's not you as a doer of doing that. But in the higher, let's say in the higher understanding, there's no letting go even happen, because you see, it's like the awareness of the reality itself is not, it's only aware of nothing but itself. Like that's, but there's always this claiming the self-centeredness that happened, but it's weird to see that nothing has ever happened or something.
Yes. Well, it's always, everything is happening, but nothing ever happened. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. But everything is happening. Yes. There's verbing going on, but the verbing doesn't culminate into a noun. All the happening doesn't make it happen. It's just happening, I guess. But I don't even want to look above the curb. I like dog shit awareness. Just keep your eyes down. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You'll be on a need to know basis. When you need to know something, you probably will. And yeah. But you're not a receptacle of knowledge. You're maybe a conduit. Like knowledge would be a note played through a flute. The flute does not collect notes, does it? No. The flute does not collect notes. It plays notes. Knowledge is like a note. Yeah. It plays in you and it can have a huge effect, but you're not a collector of notes. You're an instrument that the note is played through. Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully this knowledge will lead to a lack of searching for knowledge. Really. Yeah. Because what more knowledge do you really need that you are what you're looking for? I would imagine that would be a high form of knowledge. I think almost everything comes to an end in some respects here. Yeah. Searching can come to an end. Yeah. Mm. Yet something is always on and on. Yeah. And that's a feeling you get almost like when you're around people who are smoking, they used to talk about secondhand smoke. So when things happen, there's a familiarity that triggers something. Yeah. So when something ends, the sense of you as a non-ending or beginning event becomes emphasized for that moment. Yes. So many things have come and gone, and yet here we are. So, yeah. I feel really, to me, a lot of knowledge is like sense felt. It's not really known. It's sense felt. Uh, it's like an intimacy, not put into a sentence or something. It's yeah. All right, thank you. Anyone else? I didn't know I was getting myself into this today. Yeah, wow. Sort of. I better have 2 Jellos tonight. Yeah. Okay. All right, Mike. Nice to see you again. Yes. Our man in Mexico. Jacob, always a pleasure. David Lowe, I feel for you, brother. I do. Yes. And I like seeing you just relaxing and yeah. No more Olympic training. You already ran the race. Yes. Yeah. Judy Love. Nice to see you, Judy. Yeah. Mia, I hope you're feeling well. Amelia said your cellar's flooding, maybe. All right. Okay. You seem to be pretty calm about it. Ernie, willingness is the key. Tom, nice to see you, Tom. Yes. It's nice. Yes. Shannon Corkery. I try to share secrets with Shannon. I don't know. I think she was busy eating the guacamole. It's okay. Guacamole was much more important than me at that time. Very good. Alan Olson. I don't mind being below guacamole. I like guacamole. Alan Olson, the man who knows he's never going to get it. Hallelujah. Travis, nice to see you, my friend. Susan Harris, always a pleasure. Yes. David and Natalie. Ben, nice to see you, Ben. How are you? Eric Vista, yes. Eric is the Vista, yeah. Kathleen, again, I don't know. I can't. Well, I'm just going to say goodbye. Who's here? The other page knows what I mean anyway. I can't get to it. If I do, I may black out here. Hey,
It was
thank you. I'm really happy to be here. You made my day in a lot of ways. The action figure, I feel, does better when it has a purpose. Yeah. So
Service
you should
rock.
bring up. Hmm?
Service rocks.
Yeah. So you're helping me to feel like the action figure has a purpose. Yeah. So just keep showing up, or it actually just you could be doing something else. Just have a screen where you're appearing, and whoa, you'll be doing a nice thing. I better go. That's the higher power calling you.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Hey.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everyone.
See you guys later.
Hey,
Bye.
see ya.
See ya.
All right. Bye bye.